Chicago River winding its way through the heart of the Windy City. Our sight tonight. Hi, everyone. Greetings from 2K Sports. Get ready for some NBA action. Our game tonight featuring the Chicago Bulls as they go up against the Los Angeles Clippers. Alongside Greg Anthony and Steve Smith with David Aldridge on the sideline, this is Kevin Harlan. And a chance to take a look at some numbers for George.
And you can see the surge in his level of confidence lately just by looking at that true shooting percentage. It's been moving straight up in the past 5 games. I think he's feeling it.
Here are the 5 for the Clippers. We've got Montrezl Harrell. Paul George is out there at Patrick Beverley. Then there's Kawhi Leonard. And it's Morris at the power forward position. And for Chicago, Porter and Markkanen, the duo at forward. White is out there with Victor Oladipo. And it's Carter in at the 5 down low. A lot of buzz about this one tonight. Steve, incredible teams going head-to-head for us.
Yeah, I think it's about bragging rights. It's playoff implications down the road. I hope this one lives up to the hype.
I think it's gonna. I really do. And the Bulls start out with the ball. George against Oladipo. Right wing. Outside, Markkanen. Oladipo finds White. There's the triple. And Otto Porter with the 3.
When you talk about the best 3-and-D guys in the league, Porter's a climber on that list.
George with the ball. And the wide open shot from Morris. Trying to come right back with the 3 of his own, but it's no good. And so it's Porter bringing it up now for Chicago. It's a 3-point game. And we've got an update here, so let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, I was able to talk with Doc Rivers for a minute. He's squarely focused on containing Victor Oladipo, who emerged in his most improved season as one of the league's top stars. He's scoring with confidence. He makes them tough to beat. Kevin?
Okay, David, thanks. Here's Markkanen. Kawhi Leonard making his last shot. White, the jump shot from the baseline is right on target.
Beautiful touch there. Give White these types of looks consistently, and he's going to make you pay.
Outside, George. It's stolen by Oladipo. Pass to White. Over Harrell. White, good. White's got his second basket.
And you can argue this is White at his best, just an absolute terror in transition.
Outside, George. Over Carter. Shooting foul as the whistle blows. He'll shoot 2 free throws. It's on Lauri Markkanen.
No question, he got bumped on that shot. Well, for so much of what Paul George brings to the table, you have to start with his defensive impact. He is one of the top defenders in the league at his position, if not the best.
You look at George with all he does, Greg, you sometimes forget how good his perimeter defense is.
Well, I mean, his teammates and coaches won't ever forget about the impact he has on that end. Even when George isn't scoring or the shot isn't falling, he is still a monster on the floor just with his defense alone.
I mean, beautiful execution of the game plan offensively. So far, they are hitting 80% from the field.
There's the pass to Leonard. Releases. And misses it off the right side of the rim.
They're 1 of 4 here to start, looking to get into a flow offensively.
And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul.
Well, last season, a season of change for the Bulls. They missed the playoffs with a 22-win season. And they did have a change of head coaches. Not the results many hoped for going into the year.
Chicago shooting their initial free throws of the game right here.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
And he makes the first. Smitty, as you said, the Bulls were a pick by many to compete last season.
Yeah, and this team, they continue to tinker with this roster. They made the trade for Otto Porter to be a part of their future. And you know what? The rebuild continues on. The Clippers last year, they scored well. Lacked a true superstar, but they were aggressive. Case in point, #1 in the league in free throw attempts.
White, good.
And it just seems that every pass they make is leading to a score. Just great ball movement.
Clippers trail by 10. Pass to Leonard. To the paint, here's Beverly. No good on the shot. Excellent D there from Markkanen. And Smitty getting to the line most often for the Clippers last season. Lou Williams and Gallinari.
That combination was fascinating to watch. When you have guys who can score on all three levels and know how to draw fouls, that puts tremendous pressure on the defense.
Here's Leonard over Porter. Here's Beverly, and foul on the shot, so he'll get a chance at the line.
Patrick Beverly is a tone setter, someone who doesn't back down from anyone. I admire his confidence. Well, you talk about someone who's an absolute parado on defense, and that is Patrick Beverly. Gives you no room to get comfortable and is a thorn in his assignment side.
That one is off. And Smitty with Beverly and his defense, it's not like he turns it on or off.
Nope, he's always going full speed on defense. It's been his calling card as a player for years now, and it's what he's made his name on in the NBA.
Zubac is checked in for the Clippers. Williams comes in for George. Now here's White. He picked up 21 points in their last win against Charlotte.
Yeah, and I look at his total effect on the scoring, both as a passer and a shooter. Incredibly productive.
Here's Leonard. He's coming off a 16-point game against the Timberwolves in Minneapolis.
And he really made an impact defensively. His 4 steals were huge.
Here's Gafford. Kawhi Leonard making his last shot. Over in the corner, White. Launches it. The shot comes out. The Clippers go the other way with it. Here's Leonard. And it's Chicago with the rebound.
The will is there, but the execution is lacking. He can't seem to finish plays this quarter.
And the basket by Hutchison.
And the story here, Kevin, early on is how well they've shot the basketball.
Here's Williams. Following the three-point basket by Chicago. Shoots from 12. Good for the basket. Starting off 1 for 1 with that shot.
Not to be denied, you see the defender closing out. Williams pays him no mind.
Lets it go. Oh, and that one had the right spin on it, and it is good. White's got 8 points.
And you can't help but pick their defense apart. They're completely in disarray.
Knocked loose. Williams against Satoransky. Shot's good by Williams. Williams has got his second bucket of the game to go.
Good interior defense, but Lou Williams not to be intimidated, not to be denied.
And the basket by Hutchison.
They've been excellent so far, coming in with a well-balanced attack.
And it's helped them build an early lead. They just need to stay aggressive.
Now, here's Beverly. Looking at his numbers, he's averaging about 6.5 points a game. Out left of the wing. Here's Hutchison. They get the rebound. And Young kicks to Satoransky. That's in, coming off the assist from Young.
Crushing it right now. They've done an excellent job of spacing the floor.
If you love analytics, this is what this is all about. They favor the 3-ball. You can pile up points in a hurry.
Leonard with the bucket. 6 points for him.
The power, the length, the ability to finish. Leonard dominant in that painted area.
Shot's good from Young.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today? Ending with a basket, coming off a pretty pass.
To the inside, here's Harrell. Beverly wide open. It's good from long range.
Right in Beverly's wheelhouse, finding space. Quick release off the catch. Money.
And so it's Chicago in command with a 16-point lead as the buzzer sounds. They've kept the tempo quick and the defense on its heels, and it's gotten them up big. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. George had that nasty broken leg back in 2014. He describes what inspired him to come back even stronger.
My inspiration really came from my mother. You know, her dealing with stroke, her dealing with really being down and out. You know, I saw her fight back. That was enough for me in my darkest days. I knew it was nothing to what my mom went through, and she came out perfectly fine, so.
Well, what a story. George worked hard to get back and is not disappointed in his return.
You know, recovering from a devastating injury is never easy, but George's perspective and commitment helped him to overcome it.
And so far, through one quarter, it's been a lopsided game. We'll see if that changes here in the second. And a comfortable margin for the Bulls here, guys.
Just stretching out the floor at first. They had the defense scrambling.
Reason why, excellent spacing. They may not stay this hot all game, but hard to bet against them.
Taking a look at Los Angeles. Patrick Patterson is out there with Ivica Zubac. Then there's Jackson. Then it's Williams. And it's Leonard in at the 3, the small forward. And we've got an update here, so let's check in with David Aldridge reporting from the sideline.
Well, Lou Williams won Sixth Man of the Year for the 3rd time last season. He joined Kevin McHale and Detlef Schrempf as the only players to win the award in consecutive seasons. And with the most career points ever scored off the bench, maybe they should just name this award after him. Kevin?
David, I'm all for it. Thank you so much. And boy, is he in good company. Wendell Carter, he's checked in for the Bulls. Lauri Markkanen comes in for Thaddeus Young. And Los Angeles making a change here as well. Morris is checked in. You know, Steve, we know teams rest guys down the stretch, but what do you think about resting guys mid-season so that they're fresh at the end?
I think if you are a team that's been through these playoff runs, long championship runs, and you still know you have a chance to win, I think it's kind of unfair to us fans when you have a team that might not get to the finals and you're starting to rest guys and there's no benefit at the end. If there's a benefit at the end for the players, organization, and fans, I'm all for it. But if it's not, I don't like to see guys resting.
And it's the Clippers with the ball coming off that loss against the Timberwolves.
I'll tell you, they played hard, they drew fouls, but they could not convert at the line.
You know what happens? You start to miss a few. You develop a lack of confidence, and suddenly it becomes contagious.
Now here's Jackson. He's gotten some minutes, but nothing on the board yet. In the corner, George with it. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson.
That's the leadership they're looking for from Jackson. Staying patient, surveying the court, locates the open man.
And the great shooters know when they've got enough opening to go for the 3. I didn't think it was a bad choice on that possession.
George with the bucket.
And doing a much better job from 3-point range than they were in the first. It's going to help them chip away at that lead.
Porter passes to Carter. Now here's Markkanen. And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. And that one is good. Carter's got 4 this quarter.
The thing about Carter, even though he loves to play back to the basket, he can also face up and knock down the jumper.
Jackson has the open look. No good on the 3. The Bulls leading by 18. Here's Markkanen, currently averaging almost 6 points a game. Valentine passes to Porter. Bangs home the trifecta. Porter's got 8.
Off the catch, that's when I feel like Porter is most in rhythm with his shot.
Passes it to George. And it's Chicago with the rebound. This, their first look at this year's Los Angeles squad.
And with this matchup being an East versus West affair, it'll be the first of only 2 meetings between the teams.
Very difficult game to predict. They are not familiar with each other. I expect to see a lot of in-game adjustments tonight on both sides.
And really, it's been a major aspect of their offense in the early stages here. Their success working the ball inside and getting points from close range.
So for the Bulls, Chandler Hutchison, he's checked in for Otto Porter Jr. Victor Oladipo comes in for Valentine. And Satoransky is subbed in for Dunn. And Los Angeles making a change here as well. Harrell, he's checked in for Patrick Patterson.
And what was more fun to watch last season than Patrick Beverley checking Kevin Durant in the playoffs?
Patrick Beverley's energy and fight gave the Clippers a chance every night. Obviously, the Warriors' talent won out, but the Clippers made them work every step of the way.
Williams for three. Markkanen pulls it in.
The edge on the glass is the difference. It's allowed them to build this lead. And last year, the Bulls having issues moving the ball was actually a strength for them in the season's prior.
Totally agree. You look at all the relevant team assist stats. The Bulls were bottom 5 in all of them. This team, they fall into too much isolation for stretches.
And the first one drops.
A big key to the Clippers' recent surge, the development of Montrezl Harrell. His activity and his ability to score have been infectious for this team, and he also can be very intimidating.
Young's checked in for Lauri Markkanen. And then for Los Angeles, Zubac is checked in for Marcus Morris. And Kawhi Leonard subbed in for Lou Williams. Pass to Leonard. The shot, no good. Good work defensively by Carter. And the Clippers getting Harrell in that Chris Paul deal turned out to be a decent trade for both teams.
You're totally right. The Rockets already had Capella. Harrell was sort of a redundant in terms of skill set, and you can only have one rim runner on the floor before you begin to compromise spacing.
George passes to Zubac. Chicago grabs the miss. Young's got 5 rebounds tonight. Carter dishes to Young. Count it, good. Young's got his 3rd basket of the night.
And that set them apart today, guys. Their success with the mid-range.
And the Clippers decide to take their first time out here. Starter in this league for almost a decade, Thaddeus Young's numbers, Greg, won't blow you away. So what is it that makes him a winning player?
I think it starts with his defense, Kevin. Drawing charges and getting deflections. His quickness puts him in a position to make...
Well, we know Leonard's an elite two-way machine, but there he shows us the artistry.
Out to the right wing. Jackson against Satoransky. Pulls up on the wing. It's Chicago with another bucket.
Coming off a scoreless first quarter, he's found a little rhythm here.
41 seconds left here in the second. Now Jackson. 11 points for him in that last game against the Timberwolves in Minneapolis.
They've shown some strength in the paint today. Their work on the boards has been impressive.
Strong instincts and positioning. Kawhi read that shot all the way.
Los Angeles has gone 2 for 5 from three-point land since the end of the first. Tries from 10, and he knocks down the jumper. Leonard's got 4 points this quarter.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Stolen by Zubac. Jackson passes to Leonard. 3 seconds left. It's good. The assist this time from Jackson. Jackson's got 3 assists tonight.
Talented, opportunistic. When Leonard gets hot, it can last for long stretches.
And so a pretty lopsided game through the first half. It's Chicago running away with this one. From the United Center in Chicago, back in a moment.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Greetings to each and every one of you watching at this very moment. I'm Ernie Johnson. Kenny the Jet Smith is here. Shaq is here. One half is behind us. Welcome to the 2K Sports Halftime Show. Chicago holding the upper hand after the first 2 quarters. They are completely in control of the game, leading by a massive amount. Kenny?
Well, it has been an electric performance. These guys were firing on all cylinders. They came out aggressive, going after those rebounds, and they were piling it up. I think they wanted to send a message with their physicality. And they're going to be nearly impossible to stop if they're playing that way.
Shaq, what was your takeaway on the Clippers?
Well, they gave up too many good looks. Look at the field goal percentage against them. This tells the whole story. Not enough activity defensively. Not enough disruption, honey. Like, Kenny disrupts me all the time. Not enough disruption.
And that's going to do it for us here. The second half of action is coming your way.
And with a big gap on the scoreboard, the second half begins with very different goals for these teams. One side trying to mount a comeback, one side trying to protect their lead. You look at Thomas Satoransky, he's really been playing well.
Well, we'll find out if they were able to find an answer for him over the break. He was scoring with ease in that first half.
I think both sides probably adjusted a few things. The key for him is to bring the same level of energy over these last two quarters.
And after a very lopsided first half, we'll see if things play out a little more evenly here in the second. Markkanen and Carter are up front. White is out there with Victor Oladipo, and it's Porter at the 3. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago. Leonard on the wing, guarded by Porter. And it's Leonard missing.
You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that one.
And so Markkanen will bring it up for Chicago. Oladipo finds Markkanen. Good, and it's Oladipo picking up the assist. Markkanen's got his team on the board first here in the second half for the Bulls. And here's Beverly. He feeds it to Morris. And Morris throws it down.
I love the patience Beverly has developed with the ball in his hands. Terrific find.
Carter inside the three-point line. Shot goes down. Very quick possession right there. The Clippers shooting 41% for the game. Out to Morris. And it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Carter. A chance now to check out how the All-Star voting is shaping up.
And I tell you, the excitement's starting to ratchet up a little bit as the tallies start coming in.
Well, you look at Oladipo. He's there in the top 10 in the Eastern Conference voting. The fans have really gotten behind him.
And that's the way it should be. Kevin, you could make a case that he should be a starter, but there's just so many great players in the East. Just being in the top 10 shows how much respect the fans have for him.
And it's going to be an exciting showcase. We'll keep you updated with the results each day during the voting.
Well, the Bulls for so long were known as a tough rebounding team. Not the case anymore.
Yeah, you think of the last time the Bulls were a playoff mainstay. Rebounding was key. Now it's a weakness of their team. Dead last in the league in creating second chance points.
And now it's Leonard running. Here we go. All the way. And foul on the shot. He'll shoot 2 at the free throw line. It's going to go on Otto Porter Jr.
The dribble drive, yet another tool in Leonard's extensive arsenal, earns him a trip to the line.
And maybe the biggest story of this summer, where would Kawhi Leonard be headed in free agency? A player of his caliber commands that kind of media scrutiny.
Catching up on the changes for the Clippers. Patterson comes in for Harrell. Lou Williams is subbed in for Patrick Beverly. They grab their own miss, and there's the bucket from Markkanen.
For a stretch 4 who spends a lot of time on the perimeter, Markkanen does a good job attacking the offensive glass.
Patterson, that's good, and it's Leonard with the assist. Patterson's got his first bucket in this one. Greg, you talk about the media focus for Kawhi Leonard. Not exactly something he embraces.
Not at all. As a kid on his birthdays, he'd shutter himself in his room because he didn't want the attention. To this day, he lets his play do the talking.
Here's George. The putback. It's good on the putback.
The activity level from Patterson is what makes him such an impact on the floor.
Down low. Shot's good by Gafford.
And Matador defense That's one of the easiest shots he is ever going to see.
And this is what happens when you start to break your opponent's spirit. The resistance is no longer there.
It's Porter outside. Another three for Chicago.
And the D has gotten a little bit laxed here defending the triple.
Williams passes to Patterson. Poke loose. It's going to be out of bounds. Los Angeles will retain possession. And a chance now to look at the schedule for the Bulls. On Monday, they'll tip it off. A road trip beginning in Oklahoma City where they'll take on the Thunder. And then on Wednesday, they'll take on John Wall and the Washington Wizards.
And just looking ahead to what's on tap, there are a lot of winnable games for them, but you can't go into the stretch with that mentality. You got to focus on what's in front of you and bring it every night. What I like here, even with the big lead, they continue to execute their offense.
They've taken nothing for granted. You can see they're playing the moment rather than the score.
Valentine, that's for two, and good, as it just snugs right down through the net. So, Smitty, if we take James Harden out of the equation, who has the best step-back jumper in the NBA right now?
You know, there's a few guys. Damian Lillard has an unbelievable step-back. Steph Curry, Bradley Beal creates a lot of space on his step-back jumper. Uncontested look. Can't fault the shot selection. He's money from there.
In the corner, it's Patterson. Will it go? It's good. Great play by Williams to set it up. Patterson's got 7 points in the game.
Not a lot of forwards in the league are as comfortable from range as Patterson is.
There's Porter with the three. Rebound by the Clippers. Next matchup, they'll be home against the Suns. That game marks the first half of a quick two-game homestand. Chicago has gone 3 of 5 with the long ball since entering the second half. Valentine kicks to White. Gets it to go from beyond the arc. He's got 11.
Three-pointers are killing them at this point, and they haven't been able to respond at the other end.
George against White. Outside Leonard.
Many thought the Raptors or Lakers would land Kawhi, but in the end, he came to the Clippers to write his own legacy. Returning to Southern Cal, where he grew up, was a big part of his decision. The big surprise was how Kawhi was out recruiting other stars behind the scenes to join him with the Clippers.
Well, not an easy time on offense for the Bulls last year. They struggled mightily on the offensive end. Third worst in the league in effective field goal percentage.
Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Thaddeus Young. He's checked in for Lauri Markkanen. Chandler Hutchison comes in for Porter. Saransky's checked in for Valentine. And Chris Dunn subbed in for White. Jackson with the bounce pass. Leonard on the wing, defended by Young. Jackson in the corner for the three. Carries it from three-point range. Jackson's got his first 3 points of the game.
You know, a little inconsistent from deep when he first entered the league. Jackson now an emerging three-point threat.
Dunn tried to answer back, but that three is off the mark. Outside Leonard from the arc. That shot missing, and the Bulls going the other way now. And some nice ball movement here by Chicago. Hutchison's shot is off. Clippers shooting around 40% in the third. Maybe settling for some less than ideal looks out there. And the call on the shot that sends him to the line.
So difficult to stop Leonard from scoring. Sometimes you just have to foul him.
And this is his third trip to the line tonight. He misses the free throw.
It's interesting. No free throw attempts for him in the first half. He's finally pushing the action and reaping the reward.
Good on the second free throw.
The NBA champion, Finals MVP, Kawhi has done a lot in a short time.
And the pass to Satoransky over Beverly. He hits the back iron and sinks the shot. Satoransky's got 14 points. Here's Leonard. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass.
He's a bona fide star. Kawhi Leonard with the workman-like approach.
And so it's Chicago, out there all by themselves with a 32-point lead to end the quarter. From the field, they have been outstanding, amazing shooting. That's what has them headed to a blowout. Right back after this break. And it's time now to bring you our State Farm assist of the game.
Just true artistry right there. I mean, great decision on where to go with the ball, and how about the perfect delivery?
Execution. This is what you practice every day. These guys are professionals. Beautiful play.
And 1 quarter to go in a game that to this point has not been an evenly fought contest. And here's Dunn. He'll bring it up for the Chicago Bulls. They'll be off to Oklahoma City for a meeting with the Thunder after this one. That'll be game 1 of a 4-game road trip. Setting the floor for the Clippers, Ivica Zubac is out there with Jermichael Green. Then there's Landry Shamet. Then there's Jackson, and it's Beverly in at the 2 spot to the right side. 3-pointer, sinks the triple. Felicio's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for 3.
Their ability, again, to stretch the floor, particularly in this second half.
This was obviously a focal point coming out of the break. Look smart when the shots are going down.
Pass to Satoransky over Beverly. The shot by Satoransky, no good.
It's a shot you would think he would make, but he just doesn't make it all the time.
There's Jackson with the 3. Hutchison with the rebound.
They keep calling his number, which is partly how they dug this hole. Empty possession, and you don't want to miss these easy looks.
Beverly with the ball. On the wing, Green. Outside Jackson. Shot clock at 6. And the dunk by Jackson.
The way he glides around the court doesn't look like Jackson is moving as fast as he really is.
Here's Satoransky. And the Bulls with another miss.
And so much for repeating the 3-point barrage he put on in the first half. Nothing here in the second. And you know what? He's just not on his game, no doubt about it. Their deficit isn't totally on him, but he has not been an asset for his team.
The defense is there, but because of the height disparity, there is no real contest.
Inside, here's Green, and Green slams it in.
But what about the athletic ability of Green? A real powerhouse who just knows how to bring the hammer down.
Satoransky, the pass to Dunn. This one for 3. It's hauled in by Zubac. Zubac has got his 4th rebound in this one. Shamet kicks to Beverly. With the NBA looking to improve officiating, Smitty, they'd like to revise the rule book to more closely match the way the game is played. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, Kevin, we have to evolve. I think now the game has evolved to more 3-point shots, so you got to look at also defense, hand checking, and now we're talking about a lot about, you know, room for guys to land, whether it's a foul or not. So I think it will evolve, and it should be because the game is evolving.
Here's Hutchison. That's in, coming off an assist from Dunn. Dunn's got his 6th assist on the night.
The defense is far too slow to close out on those 3-point attempts.
Passes it to Green. There's Jackson with the 3. Offensive rebound. Zubac kicks to Jackson. And it's off from 3-point range.
He has gone ice cold this quarter. Obviously not helping their cause. Great job executing the offense. That pass on time and on point.
Now here's Beverly. D right on him, and he gets it to go.
I like seeing Patrick Beverly attack the interior. Sometimes he becomes too perimeter oriented.
Here's Satoransky. Another shot. Felicio. Nice work on the board. Paying off with the basket. Felicio's got 5 points in the quarter. Clippers have gone 5 of 12 from the field entering the 4th quarter. Now here's Jackson. He's covered closely, and he comes up with the deuce.
The developing feel Reggie Jackson has for scoring inside, playing much more under control these days.
From deep. The shot by Sederinsky, no good.
And he's a good shooter from outside, but not sure from that deep.
You know, we're seeing players move further and further back to create space, but that does make it a tougher shot.
And the basket by Hutchison. 1:35 left in the fourth quarter of this one. In the corner, Shamet with it. Back to Beverly. In the corner, Shamet with it. Offline with his three. For Chicago, they've gone 6 of 13. So just about 46% on their field goal attempts here in the quarter.
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for the Bulls.
You don't see this kind of a blowout often, but tonight this is a quality win across the board to deliver out this kind of punishment.
They definitely never changed the approach. They just kept after it and showed they were clearly the better team in just about every single category.
And so all the hard work here tonight converted into a tally in the win column. It'll be number 26 on the year.
And with the win approaching, they'll take the first game here of 2 that they'll play against this team. Nice to get that first one out of the way and set the tone.
And the dunk by Zubac.
And you gotta like that they found something positive here, something that maybe carryovers into the next game.
They put together some great possessions here at the end. It's a shame they could have used this run much earlier.
He tries for 3. Chicago with a new 14. From deep three-point range, Cornette kicks to Dunn. Over Jackson, it's Chicago with another bucket.
Impressive job by the players, coaches, and don't discount the impact of these fans.
They gave the team tremendous energy tonight. The fans were fantastic. It was a true home court advantage.
And so Chicago takes this one, and by a big margin. It was a tale of 2 teams tonight, one that was in total control, operating flawlessly, and the other just searching for answers that they could never find.
I mean, the energy here is just so tremendous. Fans involved from the get-go, and once they started to really pour it on, it was fun to see that rhythm and flow from their perspective.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Victor, you guys have been pushing the tempo, looking to get out and run. It's working. Has that been a focus of late?
We figured out that we got to play fast and we got to play high tempo no matter what happens, and we got to stay together. So we got to just continue to keep working.
Well, you certainly hit them first tonight, Victor. Thanks for your time. Kevin?
All right, David, thank you. And that'll do it, folks. For Steve Smith, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan, thanking you for being with us. So long, everyone.